during the pandemic, we end up like isolating for the safety of everyone. And then a lot of people went through a lot of health issues. COVID, was the main focus of everyone. Everybody was scared of COVID, right? But COVID is not the only disease or problem that can affect our health. So me particularly, after I gave birth, I did come up with some issues. My birth, it was not a normal birth. I went through a CS, emergency birth. So through the CS, I end up with some health issues. One of the first issues that I find out, so my discs are cracked, my lumbar discs are cracked. And then I had a really hard time to lose weight because I couldn't move. For 2 years, nobody knows about that, but for 2 years, I was not even able to sit. All I do was going to a chiropractor, to another doctor, and come back home. And so because of that, I had a hard time losing weight. Because how can you lose weight if you don't move, right? So I literally just didn't eat anything trying to lose weight because I couldn't move, but it did not help. My metabolism slows down so badly. And then, so basically what happened was I couldn't move. My metabolism is a lot, and then I had a hard time losing the weight, but I did lose the weight. Thanks to, to some slimming clinics I was endorsing during the time, some other treatments I did, of course, dieting. It was a huge sacrifice, but I was able to back to almost my original weight. And then I started to suffer, totally honestly, my whole life, I always had very bad dysmenorrhea. And I always thought that was normal. And at a certain point, it seemed to be normal because my dysmenorrhea would only happen during my period time. But then, after my daughter was 3 or 4 years old, I noticed that my dysmenorrhea, my colics, my abdominal pain, even after my period, it was still there. And the severity of the dysmenorrhea was really bad. And I am the kind of person that have a very high tolerance for pain, as in super. When I was delivering my baby, my contractions are over 100 plus, because I did try to have a naturally, but unfortunately it was not possible. I did do a conservative induction. And then, but it didn't happen. So I didn't feel a thing. My belly would jump like crazy. I didn't feel a thing. And the doctor said, wow, you cannot feel that? I said, no, I don't. So in short, I have a very high tolerance for pain. But then the pain during my period and even after my period was like something that I couldn't function. I could not do anything. I could not even stand from bed. And moving around and doing the regular everyday things was like a huge effort. And of course, my mood. Imagine someone, constant pain, having to work, having to function like a regular person. But nobody understand. I didn't understand. So I just keep drinking medication for pain, but it didn't happen. They didn't help me for most part of it. Sometimes it would like bring the pain a little bit down, but the pain is still there. And then during the pandemic, it even got worse. I don't know if it's also stress related, but the pain got like, I couldn't handle it to a point that I cannot even fake it to my family. My husband noticed that, I was constantly in pain. He started asking, are you really in pain? What's wrong with you? So we started to basically to research, and even him trying to help me. And then he find out about some celebrities that are posting online. And one of the celebrities that he saw that, decided to have a baby, and she shared her story. That's actually an American celebrity, an actress. She shared her story about, she and the husband decided to have a baby because she had a very severe case of endometriosis. And then that was the solution that they found was to have a baby. Other celebrity that was not married, she went through a surgery. And then she also shared that she had a severe case of endometriosis, that she suffered her whole life with endometriosis. So she decided to have it surgically removed. Well, searching online, with Dr. Google, that's very much what everybody, try to do. I try to eliminate what could be. There's a time that I even thought cancer. There's a time I thought something's wrong with my intestines, my stomach, and so on. I thought I had a hernia. I imagine about a lot of things, but the truth was that, one of the things that I noticed that was a common factor is that the pain was just during after my period, but the pain would just come during my period. And then it just happened that she stays a little bit longer. And then when I find out about that, of course, I started to search. I consult my doctor. I check with my gynecologist. I went to different gynecologists asking about it until I got to a point I said, no, I know what I have it already. It looks like it's endometriosis. And I kind of diagnosed myself with endometriosis. So I asked my gyno, can I please have, an MRI? Can I have an MRI of my lower abdomen? I need to find out. I know actually, I have a feeling that that's what I have. That's my problem. And then luckily, when I was doing my MRI, the doctor there, she asked me what I was looking for. And then I told her the pain I was having and everything. So I was submitted to 2 MRI. At the same time, I was there for more than 3 hours in the MRI clinic. And then they finally found 2, what they call like 2, it's like implants. Microscopic implants, but it's not that microscopic. Oh, that's Snowy. Hi, Wawa. So it's not microscopic anymore. Mine is a little bit bigger. It's located in my abdominal muscle, and that's the reason why it's so painful. Because apparently, not all endometriosis is painful. It depends where is it located. So to cut the story short, yes, I was right. I have endometriosis, but the treatment is not simple. It's actually a condition that has no cure. And it's very hard for women that suffer from it because the pain, sometimes the pain is not, is not that bad depending on the location. But in my case, it's located, most likely, that's what the doctor told me, around my CS scar and in my abdominal muscles, in my actually, rectus muscles in the abdomen area, like near the inguinal area. And it's very painful when I move. So coming from someone that was always her whole life very active, high school, even grade school, adulthood, I've always played all kinds of sports. I used to play basketball with the boys. And when I joined my, my beauty pageant, life, I was like a gym rat, literally, or maybe a gym, I don't know, cat, not rat, but I was like always in the gym. I stay in the gym like 6 hours. So I always work out a lot. I boxing, I dance, I do, I bike, I do everything that you can imagine. And suddenly I cannot do anything because whenever I muscle, even laughing, it would cause me like tremendous pain. So obviously, due to that situation, that that kind of condition, I researched. I went to different doctors and researched and tried to to check what are the best options for me for to kind of manage the pain. All in short, I've been suffering from endometriosis for a while. My daughter is 10 years old now, and I suspect that this condition has been with me since she was 3 or 4. And for the past 4 years, I've been to different kinds of treatment. I've been to hormonal treatment, which was the worst I've been to. I was in pills before, and then I was, introduced this certain pill that I did for more than a year, where I gained 20 pounds. I was always super depressed. I couldn't sleep. I have hot flashes, so it's like, imagine I'm in my 30s, and then it's like all the symptoms of menopause. And very depressing. The worst for me was like the feeling that there's something missing, the depression that really kicks in, and at the same time the way you see your body in the mirror, the insecurities and all of that. And with social media nowadays, it's so hard because everybody looks perfect. Everybody looks perfect. There is always a filter, and I particularly when I use a filter because it helps for me to feel good with myself. I don't need to put makeup. It's so convenient. Right now I don't have a filter, but a filter once in a while, it's really nice. So basically what happened was that pills, certain brand of pills that is, it was really a nightmare for me. I did for a year and a half. It did not work for me. The pain was still there. And then recently I tried this new treatment that's basically like it's a GM, something like that. It's, in high doses you can just do for 6 months. And you cannot do more than that because it's not safe. But basically what it does is, you can inject yourself every 3 months or once a month. And then it will, that particular medicine or hormone, or it's actually pretending to be a hormone, he will block the estrogen, the estrogen receptors in your body, right? Because actually endometriosis is all about estrogen. So he'll block the receptors of estrogen in your body, and then you're not going to produce, estrogen anymore. So, you know, the inflammation not going to occur. So for those that are not aware, endometriosis is actually an inflammatory disease, a condition where the endometrial cells, that's the cells that, you know, form the uterus of the woman, they migrate somewhere else. So they go out of the uterus, inside the uterus. And in my case, most likely, they don't have really a reason why it happens, but most likely in my case, because I don't know of any female member of my family that have had endometriosis before. But it's also, endometriosis is a new disease, right? It's a new condition. People, most of the doctors, you know, the medicine in general, they were not aware of that condition before. So basically what happened was, right now people are getting more and more aware of it. I don't know if it's because of the lifestyle, if the food, all these hormones in the, you know, in the meat, in the chicken and so on. I'm not so sure if it's because of the diet in general, or it's just that, you know, maybe nowadays there is so many CS happening. I don't even understand. Some women who schedule their CS instead of having their children naturally. You know, I did even Lamaze course to have my child naturally, but unfortunately, maybe genetics, maybe, I don't know, I was not able to. My mom didn't have natural. You know, she had 2 CS, and I tried, but it just didn't happen. But my dream was having naturally, because when I had the CS, oh my gosh, a lot of things happened to my body that was not good. So please, encourage women out there, just have naturally. Don't try to have CS. If you have, you know, a way of having a child naturally, just deliver it naturally. Because once you deliver a child naturally through natural birth, your body automatically go back to its original position, you know, because when the baby is out, it just gives a sign that, you know, and then there is no really, it's good for the baby, it's good for the mom, it's good for everybody.